Hey, hope everyone's had a great week. My first try at this was about 8 minutes, so I'm going to try this again and speed it up a little bit for you guys. So, first question was, how important is it to integrate technology into the curriculum? Before I read the Curriculum 21, I jotted down a few ideas for me on why it was important for me, and I've always tried to use technology as much as possible. And these are my initial reactions: is that it increased the efficiency of the task, it extended or enhanced my lesson, or it increased collaboration, provide skills practice to our students. When I dug into the book a little bit, there was two examples that I really liked that kind of reinforced my idea that it is incredibly important. And the first one was Wilmarth when he said, "We cannot expect to think the same about teaching when the act of teaching is shifting dramatically as a result of technology tools and access to information." By that, and I've been told this in the professional learning recently, is that teachers are no longer the keeper of the information. We are the facilitators of information. If I want to know how to do something, I don't build something at home. I don't have to call a carpenter. I can look on YouTube and see how to build something or how to fix plumbing or whatever it might be. Our kids are the same way. If they want to know how our heart works, they can get online and look it up and find it. They don't need us to tell them that anymore, but we need to guide them in a way that allows them to make good choices about the information. The second one that I thought, and this one was personally really important to me as a science teacher, is that Baker said the ability to negotiate and evaluate information online, to recognize manipulation and propaganda, and to assimilate ethical values is becoming as basic to education as reading and writing. I can't tell you guys how many times last year I would go into my classroom and somebody bring up an idea like, oh, I saw this causes cancer. I saw that, if you eat this every day, that you'll get smarter, you'll live an extra 20 years, or the earth is flat, or whatever it is that they saw on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it was. And we'd have to sit down and we talk about sources. Well, where did they come from? Where did the information? Was it backed by these people, or what was the purpose of the information? And those conversations are really valuable because ultimately we're going to send our kids out into society where they're going to be bombarded with information. And it's how they interpret that and make the best decisions is ultimately going to be how successful or not they are. And I think their ability to process and evaluate is very important. And if we're not exposing to them to that in the classroom, where else are they going to learn it? So the next question was, what is the biggest barrier associated with integrating more technological components into the curriculum? I'm as an instructional coach, I have a little bit different view on this maybe than some of you, but for me, it's been the teacher's reluctance to accept it. You can throw every bell and whistle at them, give them every grant, give them every opportunity to have tools at their disposal. If they don't want it, if they don't want to use them, they're not going to. I work in a district that's lucky enough to have one-to-one. Teachers get MacBooks and iPads and Apple Pencils. All the kids have iPads. We have projectors and movable cars and everything in every room. So no reason not to use technology other than you either don't know how or you don't want to. And the don't know how, we have a digital learning coach in our campus that is prepared to support everybody in that. So in my experience, it's been because they're not willing. This is kind of backed up by Costin Kallick. They're talking about their teacher, Tom, who said, I really have to rethink everything I've done or everything I've been doing in light of new technologies and a more diverse student population. It takes some getting used to. And for me, that idea is, we can call it growth mindset or lifelong learner, or whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, we have to want to change, and change is hard for everybody. And change can be good for people, but sometimes change, like I said, is really, really difficult for people that have been successful and had success doing things a certain way. The other thing that they talked about was their 16 vital habits that are necessary for success. And number 16 really kind of hit home with me on this, is where they said, remaining open to continuous learning, learn from experiences, having humility and pride when admitting we don't know, and resisting complacency. Complacency is really evident when some of our students are being very successful because why do I need to change? All of my kids are doing well because of this evidence. Well, we could be doing things differently and for their better and to help them have a better future. So that idea, I appreciated the evidence that Curriculum 21 provided. But I hope everyone's had a great week. I look forward to your comments. Let me know, as always, if there's anything I do to support you guys. Thanks.